What up, fight fans? It's your boy Joel here to talk about two fights, one real competitive, one not so competitive. The main event, Pacquiao Mosley, and I'm also here to talk about on the undercard, Humberto Soto versus Ubarno Antillon. I'll start off with Humberto Soto versus Ubarno Antillon. I find this a real interesting fight because the first fight was, in my opinion, second on my list of fight of the year. It was definitely a barn burner. You know, the guys exchanging. Love seeing Mexican fighters fight. You know, real entertaining. The first fight, Soto got the decision. I think it was fair, but only fair because Antillon was taking away points for hitting a low blow, where I didn't feel they were low, and I felt they were hitting on the top part of the belt line, and I don't feel that's a penalty. You know, that's my personal opinion, but nonetheless, the point was taken away. I actually had it a draw if the points weren't taken away, but it was taken away, so that's how the scoring went. But yeah, this fight I see very similar. It's gonna be a real good fight. There might be some tactical differences, and I was favoring Antillon, but considering that Humberto Soto is a counter puncher and a boxer, he might just use the video of the first fight and just outbox him and try to do more of that and use the left hook, spin around, jab, keep him on the distance because he's a tall lightweight. So it just might jab, move around, then throw the left hook, spin around when he trumps con. Anytime he comes, Antillon gets close, maybe hit him with an uppercut to the body, right uppercut to the body, and then hold. So I think that's how this fight is gonna go. Although I do have plenty of reasons of picking up Ubarno Antillon. Ubarno Antillon, he didn't fight in between like Soto did. Soto fought a Colombian guy, Monterrosa. It was a good fight, you know, but the fact that the first fight was so brutal, I would think it would have served him in a much better interest to take a rest and all the way until the fight. So by that, you know, I do see how Antillon could win this fight. I'm not saying it's a one-sided fight or whatever, but I'm picking Soto by decision. I think he'll make it a little easier for himself, and he'll outbox Antillon, who's a very limited fighter, but gets by on pure will, kind of like an Antoro Gotti, who's a limited fighter, you know, with lack of defense, but he came aggressive and gave it all he got, and sometimes it got him by, and sometimes it didn't. Getting to the main event, Manny the Pac-Man Pacquiao versus Shane Mosley. This should be an interesting fight, only because of the reason I find it interesting. Although I favor Pacquiao because Pacquiao is just a machine, and considering the fights I saw Mosley in, I don't think it'll be very competitive. But the reason I feel it's interesting is because of Pacquiao's last fight. Pacquiao's last fight was against Antonio Margarito, and he got touched up a little. You know, I'm not saying he won every single round of the whole fight, except I gave the sixth round, I believe, to Margarito, where he hurt Pacquiao with 2 body shots. So I gave that. So he might have lost 1 round, but if you gave that round to Pacquiao, you know, I have no problem with that. Yeah, so But Margarito touched him up a little bit. And Margarito is a real slow fighter. You know, he's a real aggressive fighter, but real slow. And Mosley, that's never been one of his bad attributes. It was never his speed. He's always had hand speed. And considering his last two fights were against boxers, and now he's facing Pacquiao, who's more of an aggressive fighter, then he might not have that problem that he did in his last two fights. But that being said, I feel like if a slower guy like Margarito could touch you up like that, I think Mosley could touch you up like that. Maybe, I'm not saying he's going to knock him out. I'm saying he's going to land punches that will hurt him. But that being said, I don't see Manny Pacquiao losing this fight whatsoever. Well, maybe, like, again, Mosley's a big puncher, so I backtrack. You know, not that I don't see no way he can lose. I can see him getting hurt by a big overhand right, you know, or a nice left hook to the body, you know, something Mosley's real good at, you know. So, but besides that, I don't see Mosley dominating at any point. I feel if he wins, it has to be something sudden, something like, you know, he's losing the first 4 rounds, and then all of a sudden he catch Manny with a good 1-2, and then Manny staggered and he punched, you know, and then whatever, he knocks him out or something like that. But I'll be honest, I don't see that happening. If it does, I'll be surprised. But I'm favoring definitely Pacquiao. I'm tempted to go knockout, but I'm going to give Mosley the benefit of the doubt that he won't get knocked out, because he's never been knocked out before, and the only times he's gotten knocked down was against bigger guys. So I'll give Mosley the benefit of the doubt, and plus Pacquiao couldn't knock out Margarito, so, you know, even though the fight should have been stopped, but, you know, he couldn't knock him out. So, and I feel Mosley's defense is a bit better than, not a bit better, just it is better than Margarito's defense. So I feel he'll get hit less. His offense is better, so he'll land more. I think he'll put up a more competitive fight than Pacquiao's fight against Clottey and Margarito. I think he'll put up a more competitive fight. But the reason I don't like the fight is because I felt there were other qualified opponents, such as maybe like an Andre Berto or Sergio Martinez, if he wanted to move up to 154 and defend his title that he had at the time, or maybe go meet Juan Manuel Marquez, who's a true warrior and has earned, or maybe even one of the 140 guys, Bradley or Khan, or, you know, one of those guys. But yeah, I don't like the fight, but it should be interesting though. It should be interesting. But as far as competitive, let's hope for a good competitive fight. That's all we could ask for, you know, as boxing fans. And our personal biases, you know, whether we're rooting for somebody, that's totally different. But let's hope for a competitive fight. All right, guys, that's my prediction. I got Soto by decision, and I also got Pacquiao by decision. All right, man. Peace.